How you doing? It's Bill Stage, and we are with Jeanelle Westrom from Davenport Guns. How are you, Jeanelle?
I am fantastic. How are you doing today,
I'm
Bill?
I'm doing really good. So, there's a lot of stuff that I want to kind of talk to you about. Kind of how you got into this, how you started, what you do on your day to day. But just give us kind of a once over about what you do in your business. What is your job up there at Davenport Guns?
All right, so I am the owner of Davenport Guns and Davenport Shooting Club. We opened in January of 2015, so we're just at 5 years old. And my most important mission is teaching people how to be safe, responsible firearms users.
Mm-hmm.
But we do a lot of teaching, a lot of training, but then we sell guns, ammo, pretty much anything you need to go have a fun day on the range.
That's right. That's right. And you mentioned before that what it was, it 65% of the guns sold this month are first-time buyers. That means safety is at the utmost importance these days. We want to push that for sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Training has always been important to me, but especially now with so many brand new gun owners,
Mm-hmm.
they really need to take the time to learn. You don't just get behind the wheel of a car and think you could drive,
That's right.
right? So you need trained.
Yep, yep, and you in practice. Training to get the license is one thing, but to stay in practice and be good at it and be a responsible gun owner is very important.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into this. What made you want to get into guns? How long ago did you
So
start?
I had to go into an office and close the door.
Uh,
I am a third generation gun person.
mm,
So grandpa was a gunsmith. My dad shot with the U.S. Army team, so I grew up on the range.
gotcha.
So I just like the smell of gun smoke.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that's something that happens very early. If you're third generation, you're just around it so
Yeah,
much. It probably is a little nostalgic for you.
it is. It is. For a brief period of time, I got away from shooting for a little bit.
Hmm.
And then friends of mine dragged me to the range, and all it took was for me to smell that. And I'm like, all right, I'm back.
Yeah. What were some of the experiences you had with your grandpa back there that you probably didn't have like true to life ranges
What?
like you guys had?
So you're gonna laugh. So Grandpa was an old time gunsmith. So
Okay.
he learned how to make a part, and he made that part over and over and over again in his machine shop
Okay.
until he perfected it.
Yeah.
And then he would move to the second gun, or the second part of the gun.
Hmm.
But his favorite guns were Mausers, old German Mausers. So that's what he worked on more than anything else. So
Okay.
one of my fondest memories is going into the machine shop and smelling the lubes and the oils, and
Hmm.
that just kind of, I go into a machine shop now and it just takes me back to being 5.
Yeah, I would imagine. And what was the first time that you got to shoot a gun?
So my earliest memory shooting was about the age of 5,
Hmm.
and my dad took a gun out of the armory at Fort Lewis in Washington State,
Okay.
and he would hold the gun and put the buttstock in his shoulder, and I just reach my little arm over and squeeze the trigger.
Yeah.
Well, it was an old AR style rifle. Well, I squeezed the trigger when he wasn't prepared, so the charging candle came back and dotted me in the forehead.
Oh, no.
And all he said was, "Go to the car." That's all he said, just go to the car. And I sat in that back seat of the car, and I mean, big old tears rolling down my eyes. And I
Yeah.
just kept saying, "I'm a big girl. I'm not going to cry." I bawled.
But eventually you got good at it. When did you start getting good at shooting?
Well, eventually, my dad bought a small manufacturing company, and I was shooting competition pistol, basically because I got conned into going to a match.
Mm.
And then I was getting yelled at by rifle shooters saying, "What are you doing shooting a pistol when you work for a rifle company?" So I started shooting a rifle, and then I've done it for years and years and years. It's just, I'm not a hunter, and nothing wrong with hunters. I love
Hmm.
venison, but it's just not right for me.
Yeah.
So, I hunt that elusive paper X. really far away.
Right. Do you have any daily routines that get you into going to work? What's your morning routine look like on a normal day to day?
A couple days a week, I hit the snooze button on the alarm a lot,
Yeah.
and then I get up and go to the gym for a little bit, and then come home, take a shower, get to work, start my day. I love it's not it's not really a job if it's something you love.
Mm-hmm.
I would love somebody else to do the paperwork, but but I love being here. I love seeing the excitement of somebody new coming to the range
Yeah.
and realizing how fun it is and how stress relieving it is. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not a horrible, scary, awful thing
Right.
like the media likes to portray.
Mm-hmm. As far as that goes, what are your kind of youngest customers look like? I've got an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and obviously getting into gun safety. If you've got a house with a gun in it, you want to encourage safety. What are some of the earliest trainings you would suggest?
Well, we've got partnered with a group called the National Shooting Sports Foundation, and they have put together a class called First Shot.
Mm,
It's great for children. So, in fact, if a parent takes the class, we let the child take it for free.
gotcha.
At least that's what they're supposed to do. It's $25. You fill out a survey after you're done and tell us what we did right and what we did wrong and where we need to improve on. You
Mhm.
actually get a $25 gift certificate back.
Nice.
So effectively, it's a free class.
That's great.
But children, it just depends. I've had 10-year-olds that listen so well and pay so much attention.
Yeah.
And then you have a 13-year-old that's a know-it-all,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to listen to anything you tell them.
Right.
So it really depends on the child, just like anything.
Sure.
But First Shots is a great class.
What about the first guns? BB guns are what we have around the farm over here. What would be the next step up you would suggest, of course, with the proper training?
So the next step up from a BB gun would be something like a 10-22. So it's a 22 caliber long gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rifle, so it's easier to. I don't want to say this the wrong way.
Yes.
It's easier to maintain your muzzle downrange than it is to swing your pistol around and sweep yourself or somebody else with the muzzle of the gun.
Yep. Gotcha.
10-22s are great little guns. They're kind of like Legos. There's lots of stuff you can do to them.
Yeah.
You can take a little $400 gun and make it as expensive and fancy and tactical or whatever you want to turn it.
Yeah.
All on your own.
Right on. So Jeanelle, you obviously love what you do. You have a passion for safety and guns and what do you do on your off day? You say you don't hunt. What do you do for fun?
I love to garden.
Is that right?
So my husband jokes that I can take a stick, lick it, stick it in the ground, and grow a tree. So I'm really excited that the weather's warming up and I can start digging in the dirt again.
That's great. That's great. What about music? Are you interested in music? Who's your favorite band? Do you have a guilty pleasure?
I have ADD. So
Yeah.
I have nothing against music fans. I just have a really hard time listening to the same song over and over and over again during the course of a day. So I tend to listen to books on tape.
Gotcha. All right. What's some of your favorites?
I really like Clive Cussler, David Baldacci, kind of the intrigue, murder, mystery.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing.
Right on. Jeanelle, I'm going to ask you a few questions. If you don't have an answer, that's okay. Just a few more questions. We'll round this out. What is your definition of success?
What is my definition of success?
Yes.
Um, depends on what the program is.
Mm.
So, for instance, we have video game training system here, and my vision of success with that system was when a, a law enforcement officer who had been involved in a shooting used that system and did a shoot, don't shoot scenario.
Mm.
And on screen, she hit an innocent person.
Yeah.
And while I absolutely hate the fact that we lost her experience in the field, I much rather she realized that she's not ready to go back
Yeah.
on the range and not out on the streets.
Right.
Right. So she didn't get hurt, and especially an innocent person didn't get hurt.
Sure.
So for $40,000, I is what those systems cost me. My ROI was when she realized that she wasn't prepared to carry a gun on the street.
Wow.
So that's, but, and we'll have a lot of people that come in that aren't comfortable with guns. If I can get them to realize, hey, this is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that when people open themselves up to the possibilities that maybe something's not what they were taught or trained,
Mm-hmm.
or that, media portrays us so bad.
Yeah.
They really do, without realizing that knives kill more people in this country than guns do.
Right.
So,
Well, that's a good question. What would you like the media to portray you as? What would you like to get your message to be?
if you haven't tried something, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you've never shot a gun before, how do you know that guns are evil? I mean,
Right.
how do you personally know that guns are evil? It's actually one of my favorite success stories. Is we had a customer, he thought guns were awful, horrible things and nobody should ever have them.
Mm-hmm.
And every time something happened, he and his wife would get in horrible fights about it. And she finally told him one day, you know what? You've never even shot a gun. You don't get to have an opinion in this conversation.
Yeah.
And he thought about it and he's like, damn it, she's right. So he came and he learned how to shoot. And Monday evenings, we have this little fun league. It's really inexpensive to shoot. And it's just something to give you a little bit of goal, a little bit of, boost your skills a little bit.
Sure.
And he's here every Monday night doing that.
Wow.
And now he actually goes out and competes on weekends.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So what's one piece of advice or life hack you could give to someone? Do you have a favorite piece of advice that you've heard or a life hack that you've learned?
My favorite thing is to just try. Just because you've never done something doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Yeah.
But you'll never do it if you don't try.
Right.
You might mess up a couple times. You'll learn some tricks and quirks to make things work easier for you. But if you don't try, you failed.
Right. Well, that's great. That's great. Okay, so if there was a local business that you think should be a part of this, a little behind the business, whether they're still in operation or a little bit on a hiatus because of all this, who do you think should be next on my program? A little local Quad City business shout out.
I would say any other gun shop. Any other gun shop.
That's surprising. That's great to hear, though. Your competition, and you're saying go talk to them. I love that.
Well, because everybody has their different areas of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
So Easy Living in Milan, they do a lot of archery and fishing stuff.
Mm.
RK, out past Bettendorf, they're more known for hunting and archery.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a different thing to offer.
Yeah.
Everybody's got different training to offer.
Sure.
We do our best, but we're not perfect 100% of the time. So, I can say something 18 times and somebody else can say the exact same thing but use one different word, and then it clicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Is the gun world competitive? Do you guys get together? Are you friends? How does that all work?
Well, it's called friendly competitors,
Yeah.
right? So I've got a couple companies in Illinois. If I have to take guns over there for Illinois customers, they do my transfers, I do theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So we know who's coming in. Honestly, it's a chance for all of us to steal each other's customers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
That's great. All right, Jeanelle, what can we tell everybody? What's a good wrap up here? What do people need to know about Davenport Guns?
Well, we're still open. We're still, the range is still being used. I am moving people instead of being right next to each other on the range. I am putting them in separate stalls.
Mm-hmm.
Our ventilation system, our filtration system was created deliberately to be better than the air handling systems in a hospital.
Mm.
We don't want that lead getting out, and we don't want people breathing it in.
Right.
So we worked really hard to make sure that we put clean, fresh air on that range.
Awesome. That's great. So to register for classes, you can check out davenportguns.com or give them a call up there in Davenport. You guys are doing good work up there, Jeanelle. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Bill.